I never thought I'd be the kind of man who'd hire a private investigator. But there I was, sitting in my car late at night, scrolling through messages on my wife's phone that didn't feel quite right. She had become distant, guarded, and strangely secretive about her schedule. At first, I told myself I was being paranoid. We'd been married 8 years, had built a home together, and shared dreams about the future. But the late-night work meetings, the sudden urge to hit the gym twice a day, and her constant texting with the phone face down on the table, it all gnawed at me until I couldn't ignore it anymore. So I hired someone, a private investigator named Martin. He was calm, collected, and looked like the kind of man who had seen everything. I gave him the details, told him my fears, and then spent the longest week of my life waiting. Every ring of my phone made my chest tighten. Finally, Martin called and said he had something. We met at a small diner, and he slid a thick envelope across the table. Inside were photos. My wife, with another man. At first, I couldn't breathe. She was smiling, leaning against him like she used to lean against me. My hands shook as I flipped through the pictures, but then my stomach dropped even further, because the next photos weren't of the same guy. They were of her with someone else, and then another. 3 different men. I felt the blood rush out of my body. 3. Not one mistake, not a moment of weakness. 3 different affairs, carefully juggled behind my back. Martin said he had dates, times, and even places. She wasn't just careless, she was calculated. While I was working late shifts to pay off our mortgage, she was out with them. While I planned our anniversary surprise, she was sneaking into hotels. I thought I'd feel anger, but what I felt in that moment was pure devastation. That night, I went home and looked at her like I didn't even know who she was. She smiled at me, asked me how my day was, and kissed me on the cheek like everything was normal. I wanted to scream. I wanted to throw the photos in her face. But instead, I played along. I needed to hear it from her. The next day, I confronted her. I laid the photos on the table one by one. At first, she froze. Then she tried to deny it, her voice shaking. When she realized I had proof, undeniable proof, her mask cracked. She didn't apologize. She didn't cry. She just crossed her arms and said, "Well, maybe if you were the husband I needed, I wouldn't have had to look elsewhere." That cut deeper than anything. After all I had done, all the sacrifices, all the trust I had put into her, this was her excuse? I realized then that the woman standing in front of me wasn't my wife anymore. Or maybe she never was. I packed a bag that night. I left her in that house we had built together, surrounded by the life we were supposed to share. She called me weak, pathetic, told me I'd never find anyone better. But as I closed the door behind me, I felt strangely free. Weeks have passed since then. The divorce papers are in motion, and I've cut all ties. It still hurts, I won't lie. But I've also learned something. Sometimes the person you think you know best can be a stranger hiding in plain sight. And sometimes walking away, even when it shatters your heart, is the only way to save yourself. Because in the end, I didn't lose a wife. I lost someone who was never really mine.